Hey YouTube, here's a tip that I have for fixing a primer chute on a Dillon 550 B. If you own one of these, you know the problem I'm talking about when you're depriming. Um, you got primers all over the floor and underneath your shell plate and so forth. Binds up your press in some cases. I've seen some remedies on YouTube. Some are more successful than others, but just wanted to share with you what I've done. And well over 1,000 rounds have been loaded, and it seems to work just fine. The If you don't know, the main issue I think exists with the cotter pin that's used out of the box with the 550. And I've called Dillon on this issue, and they send out the same thing. They have not revised this part with any other. And so what I have found is the problem is the binding of the chute staying open when you pull down on the press. It stays open because of the cotter pin basically locking out the chute to where it's not going to close on its own weight. And because of that slit in the cotter pin, when you deprime, there's a lot of excess powder particles and some other gunk that builds up in the primer pocket that's pushed and forced out when you deprime. And what I have found is it was getting caught inside that slit, and a very slight amount is all it takes to get caught in there and basically jam open the mouth of the chute. And so what I did was I removed it, and I found one of these finishing nails that I used from a pass load finishing gun. And it's actually not round, it's multi-sided, you know. It's got like basically like a four-sided thing, but ideally a round finishing nail or something like that would work just as well. And so what I did is I just cut it in half, put it in the slots, and bent each end so that it doesn't slip out. And what I found, like I said, well over 1,000 rounds, that I've never experienced another problem with that. I'll give you an idea of the way when it's depriming. Here's where the issue lies: is where on its own weight that chute is gonna fold downward, and it's gonna close the mouth of the primer chute. That way, when you deprime, it stays shut. And if you have this bind up on you, it will not allow it to fold backwards onto its own weight and keep closed. Now, when you pull up on the press arm, the way it's supposed to work is like this. So it'll go, and as soon as the back end of the chute hits the press, it'll force the mouth open, thereby dropping that primer in the appropriate slot. And as you know, doesn't always work. So if you take that little wire, like I was telling you, or a finish nail of some sort, and do that, it works flawlessly every time. See, the idea being, all it needs to do is stay able to pivot onto its own weight. If it can do that, you'll never have a problem. The issue is where it's not able to do that because of the existing cotter pin. That's what binds it and hangs it open like that. And so your primers, as soon as they're deprimed, fall right out and onto the floor and everywhere else, as I'm sure you're well aware. So if you try something like this, I think it will work successfully for you, and you won't ever have a problem again, or at least I haven't, with all the rounds that I've loaded. I don't foresee that not being able to completely pivot every time that I that I use it. So give it a shot. See if that works for you. Till next time.